Hey everyone, and welcome to the lands of Alaire. I'm Ian, the Dungeon Master, and I'm joined here by my two friends, Tori and Aaron, of Joined by Gaming, my younger brother Tyler, our good friend Scott, and my older brother TJ. I'm Ian, the Dungeon Master, and if you guys are ready, we'll just jump right on into the recap.
Yeah, sounds good.
Coolio. So last we left off, our heroes, Erlon, Melee, Leander, Jar, and Gilroy, had returned to the settlement of Waterwheel after their expedition to overthrow the dreaded Spider King. They were immediately greeted by the town's champion, Godric the Goliath, who escorted the group to the mayor's estate. There, the party spoke with Mayor Beneville, securing her trust as well as an invitation to a meeting with the powerful Clan Molnar at Steelhammer Stronghold far to the north. In the evening, our heroes retired to Rotbeard's brewery, where they were reunited with many of their companions, including Arena, Fralthane, Nonagus, and Singstalter. Knowing that they were soon to embark north to Steelhammer Stronghold, it was decided that Arena the Cleric, Clara the Azamar, Bilberry the Thief, Zorn the Mage, and Giantel the Scout would accompany the party, while Fralthane Half-Ogre and Singstalter the Inventor stay in Waterwheel. Nonagus described his plans to set south towards Nelfarens, though he seemed intent on studying in the great and ancient city of Sumedia before returning home. The party relaxed for the evening, sending messages and enjoying the peace while it lasts. In preparation for their trip and with their pockets overflowing with gold, our party splurged on an expensive enchanted wagon, a Landmaster XL, which featured a portable ballista and magically enhanced storage. The same morning, our party joined the mayor and her entourage, the elvish prince Hiron Ovalos, and a squad of Clan Molnar's soldiers, the legendary Carid Moore, headed by the veteran Jordan Lowstone. And you set out north on the roads towards Steelhammer Stronghold. And so, as you curve north, you make your way towards the Everdark Forests, which of course you guys had quite a foray into and are rather familiar with at this point. And instead of curving off towards ancient ruins or into the mountains to the west, you continue on that straight path that cuts right through the marshes that you guys had followed for some time there, and travel goes over rather well for the next about 3 days. During this time, Godric stays next to Mayor Beneville, generally just marching alongside her, whereas the elves seem to huddle about in their wagon, seldom coming out into the daylight. They seem reluctant and uninterested to set down their finery and their clothes on this muddy terrain, so they pretty much stay inside their wagon. The dwarves of Clan Molnar, including Jordan Lowstone, march stoically alongside the road, and then at night lay down bedrolls without a word and kind of set up a perimeter guard, just without any need of heating to set that up. That's just what they do every time. Whereas Zorn, Bilberry, Arena, and Gentel and Clara all stick pretty dang close to the wagon as they enjoy the comfortable movement. Clara is very thankful for not having to walk all this way. Anything you guys would like to do while on the road?
Gilroy's gonna take the opportunity to copy some stuff into the spellbook.
Okay.
We've had a number of scrolls and a spellbook I bought off Zorn for some time, but we haven't really had any downtime to take a look at that. Of course, I can't find the spells that were in the spellbook now. But there's a number of scrolls that probably will eat up the majority of that time.
Right.
So yeah, he's inside the wagon itself, like underneath the. It's covered, right? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's going to be represented as covered on the map, but it in fact has a wooden structure. So it's like a stagecoach, a full.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he's definitely in there, with probably. Even at nighttime with the ever-burning torch out, and just toiling away at copying some of this stuff into the books and cursing every bump. That who's leading the wagon? Was it Zorn?
Currently, actually, Erlon has the reins, yeah. And
he probably doesn't want to curse out Erlon too much. You know, you might get a disgruntled shake of the head and cursing every time, you know, he feels he's been disturbed.
Would you like the spell list from that again?
Sure.
So it has Disguise Self, Alarm, Featherfall.
Yep.
Those are all first level. Blur, Dark Vision, and See Invisibility for second level.
Oh, yeah, he was like a dungeon delver.
Yeah, not really a combatant, this particular wizard that wrote this spell book, but very good at making his way in and out of ruins without being noticed.
Right.
So you got the second level ones?
Yep.
And finally, Sending in Tongues.
Cool.
For third level, and his most powerful and actually combatively useful spell, Fire Shield, which is a fourth level spell.
So when he gets found out, he can also get out of there.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
So that is what was in there. And throughout the night, as you study away on that, eventually, as this caravan moves along, sometimes some wagons are left a little bit behind, sometimes they scrunch on up together. Often, as the evening draws closer, the caravan tends to compact itself and then make for a camp. And during one of those evenings while you're copying away, you guys get rather close to the wagon in which the mayor sits. And the mayor is not so intent on just staying in her wagon like many of the others that have joined her. She hops out and takes a look at the terrain and whatnot, speaks with Godric, occasionally drops over and speaks with you. But that particular night that you're copying over spells and whatnot, she's walking alongside the wagon as you make a slow pace through the marsh. It's probably about the second or third evening you've been making your way through the Everdark, so you can see that the kind of bowl-shaped valley that contains this forest of dying pines and marshy water. There's a rather clear-cut path that makes its way out of there and curves off towards the east. And while you're making your way kind of up that path, she's walking alongside you, notes that you're riding away, and goes, "You're quite studied, aren't you, Gilroy?"
At the very best university.
Have you heard many legends of this land?
Oh, have I?
Would you like to yeah, you could roll just straight
History,
intelligence, I guess. Yeah, or history, definitely, yeah.
Here's my history. It's a +7. That's a 19. No,
19?
sorry, +5. 17.
17?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you do know a good amount of the history, specifically of Haron and Molnar. That's the stories that are told and that were written down. How he set out with his expedition of a few dwarves, about a dozen worth, and just completely conquered the land, with beginning with such a small force and gathering followers until Caradmorn belonged to the dwarves, and all the prosperity that came from that.
Well, history wasn't my nature of study necessarily, but I know of your history here.
Interesting. Do you know the story of, well, the Hammer of the Skies?
No, I've not heard that one.
It's a legend, you see, and one I believe that has been misinterpreted. Before Haron and Molnar made his way north, it was noted that the skies lit up one night and a great hammer came rocketing out from the stars and smashed into the ground, and, well, that's part of what inspired him to make his way up into this blasted territory. He takes a deep breath, and you can see that she's, as she says, blasted territory. She actually quite appreciates the land around her and is enjoying being out of Waterwheel and on an expedition of sorts. And she goes, "Of course, it was actually a meteor."
Of course.
But the legend does hold some merit in that for many centuries the dwarves searched for that meteor, knowing that the alloys and metals that could be found within could be incredibly valuable. No such luck, but it does make me wonder. And she stares out into the night sky.
Yes, no doubt. Quite possibly very useful. I'll be back to my studies now.
No, of course. Don't let me bother you, Gilroy. And, indeed, she does seem intent on, as travel goes along, she wants to just make sure that everyone's still with her, you know? That they
checking in.
Yeah, remember what they're here for and what they're doing, and that morale is high as you continue along the road. Would you guys like to do anything more during these days in the Everdark?
I know that Chantel had been working with Clara.
Yep.
Has that been progressing? resting at all?
Clara still has a short bow at her side and a quiver that she hasn't strapped around her back or anything, but Jantel noted that she was going to leave the training up to you pretty much from here on out. As far as just straight archery goes, Jantel still teaches her some things about, how to listen to the wind and just general nature tricks that the elves tend to harbor and build, so that they have just these life survival skills that they use all the time. It's a very subtle kind of thing, but Jantel does it constantly while scouting. She has means of perceiving the area around her that normally most people wouldn't attempt. And she shares those means with Clara. However, as far as combat and shooting away goes, she's, pretty much just said, "You're even better with a bow than me, so you might as well take care of it." So would you like to train her during the days, or? Absolutely, yeah, no. So you pull her aside and make sure she has her short bow and arrows ready. How would you like to train her?
I don't know.
Shooting trees and stuff as you wander on past? That's definitely the beginning of learning how to shoot a bow, so... she needs some practice. Okay. You give her many pointers over the next few days on posture and just general technique and whatnot. And it seems towards the end of your way, getting out of the Everdark, those 3 days or so in the marsh, she can knock an arrow and shoot it, no doubt. She's proficient with that weapon, but she's no archer yet. Though you do feel personally satisfied that you were able to contribute to her continued learnings and training and whatnot. And though she's not amazing with a bow, she does have a knack for it. She picked it up rather quickly, so you note that. Anything more?
No, Jar's probably just gonna play his pipes and kind of skulk about the camp with a keen ear.
Clara will, during one of these days, along the travel, you sitting on the wagon presumably, she'll hop up alongside next to you, and she looks at you and she goes, You're one of those drow people.
Well, almost. Close.
Right. I'm close to something, personally. I know how you feel anyway. And you do see, she kind of puts up her arm for a moment and compares her skin tone to yours. Yours is a bit darker, and she goes, yes, well, so far as I've heard, everyone around here seems to think that just because you're drow, you're inherently a bad person, but she looks deep into your eyes, Jar, and goes, I think if it came down to it, you would do the good thing.
Don't go telling everyone that.
She gives a slight kind of giggle at that and goes, "No, I won't."
Gilroy shouts from inside the wagon, "No, he chooses to be a bad person."
But there is this intention of connecting with you, and she seems to immediately, as you're both somewhat outsiders due to your race, have a bit of an easy connection with you, but she also, it's not pity, but she really does want to see you be a hero like these other guys, and as of yet, she's only heard about how drow are evil, so she seems intent on letting you know that she pretty much believes in you. Anything more?
Jar will, just teach her how to play a few notes on the pipe.
Sure, absolutely.
In return for
that. Just as good as she is at archery. You managed to teach her some notes, and she learns a bit on how to play the pipe, yeah. Maybe someday she'll know scale and can play a song. Anything else on your way out?
I think Erlon would ask Leander if he wants to, spar on the road. Like, I picked up a couple moves I'd like to show you.
All right, yeah. I think Leander would definitely be down for that.
Sure.
Especially, just buying a new sword.
Absolutely. Yeah, you two. Oh, since the last time you guys have sparred and whatnot, you guys have come so far. Leander really stepped out his sword. Yeah, it's just like, oh man, these guys, it would be an epic battle if you two were to ever actually fight. Do you guys want to just, say you train up and keep on top of your tactics? Or would you like to roll an opposed athletics or something to see who wins the spar?
I just think it's like a very bonding.
Yeah, absolutely,
experience.
totally. I get that. So yeah, you two, during the days and whatnot, when you get the chance, in the evenings at camp, set aside a place for yourselves and spar away, practicing new techniques, getting used to your new weapons. Indeed, Leander, the new sword is, it feels excellent in hand. And Bloodletter, as always, swings with incredible force. And, it felt great when you first received it, but now that you've spilled some blood with it, this weapon is becoming, like, part of you, which, I don't know, feels pretty cool.
Erlon can throw his hand axe at trees all day while the wagon's
That's
passing
true,
by.
that's true. Just whip it, catch it, whip it. So those are during the times when you are not at the reins.
Yeah, I figure like right after we eat like dinner or something.
Sure.
Before we're about ready to like settle down for the night.
And that's about the time that you would note that the elves have this ritual, it seems. Their wagon is laden with vines. Very much so, wooden, hefty wagon, as you would expect for a journey like this. But they have decorated it with vines of a plant that obviously is not natural to this area. It's probably from Ellenbeer. They look a bit dried, and yet they still have this green, vibrant nature to them. And they just are strewn all about the top and dangle off the sides, and some of them drag alongside the wagon as it goes. And you can see, particularly this is of note to you, Erlon, the elves don porcelain masks and begin to light small blue-flamed candles and place them among the vines every evening that they're out under the stars. And first it seems like quite the ritual, and perhaps you feel as though you shouldn't interrupt, but the more that you see them do this, the more intrigued you become. And yeah, this is happening one night as you and Leander are setting aside to spar.
Okay. So I probably, we finish our fight, shake hands, drink some beer.
Right.
And I walk over to the tent, or to their wagon.
Okay.
And just as Erlon. So, what exactly are these candles used for? I honor my ancestors, but I'm not familiar with this practice.
And you see the prince, the one that you
Drugged.
Yeah, some horrible drink, and have met a few times in the past. Who has joined you on this journey? Hiron Ovalos. He is wrapping up placing one of these candles, and turns back to you and takes off the mask, they're beautiful, these porcelain masks. They look expensive. The paint and features upon them, very colorful, vibrant, some of them streaks of gold, some of them red swirls and whatnot. They're unnaturally beautiful, and they definitely, you note them for sure. There's no way to ignore them. But as he takes it off, revealing that handsome, young, kind of regal, high elvish face, he goes, this is a necessary ritual from, back in our home. Our sect practices this. It's a rite of passage for our dead. Many souls that would normally be reincarnated, such as those of elves, especially our people, sometimes they can get trapped here. This is a means of helping them move along. And Erlon, you can see, and most other people probably wouldn't, but with your particular connection to the spiritual realms and whatnot, you can see that around this wagon are shadows, are silhouettes of elves that seem to be, many of them, in saddened states. They seem to be covering their faces, some of them hunched over and whatnot, and they blow out the candles one by one, and each of the shadows seems to dissipate. And Hiron goes, it's intriguing. I mean, powerful wizards who could make it to other planes, they know elves who die in those spaces reincarnate as they always should. But those who die here on Alaire, at least those who study in our temples, sometimes they get locked here, unable to leave.
Do I know of anything like that back from where
No.
my home, like any of those stories?
The Wood Elves don't seem to have this problem.
Okay.
He makes it known that it's something that happens to his sect, his peoples. And yeah, you've never heard of it. It sounds kind of What?
Sad.
Yeah, well, no doubt it has a sadness. Yeah, and the whole ritual definitely has this overarching sadness to it in general. You can even see it in the expressions of the elves. Partially the reason, you presume, why they wear the masks is to fool everyone around who might see the ritual and potentially the shadows themselves into thinking that they always have, they're maintaining happiness in life, and so they should be able to easily pass on. So that you figure that out as you watch them. And no, as far as the Wood Elves and that side of your family, you know of the realms that you return to upon death, and then that the souls of elves can be taken from those realms and brought back to the material plane for reincarnation. And half-elves kind of have a tricky place in that. It's uncertain if that's what ends up happening to them. But that's always a respected and known tradition, and that's just part of being a wood elf. These high elves, something has happened in that cycle that continuously seems to disrupt it, and living high elves have to help the dead through to the next realm.
And with being as long-lived as elves are, too, I would assume that their sadness is much deeper. I'm sure I've experienced that.
Absolutely.
Because... not that, the other races' deaths are...
No!
But just having such long, storied lives,
exactly.
And then the amount of vast emptiness that must leave is pretty crushing, I would imagine, for some of them. So this is a very important ritual.
Erlon knows that, yeah.
So he's very, kind of changes his demeanor, is more standing up straight. And,
sure.
Yeah. And...
a feeling that potentially this elvish prince actually has, some respectable duties and features to him. That's what you find. So you watch them finish this kind of respectfully.
Yeah, I'm not going to intrude on there because I don't want to do anything wrong. It
no,
seems like a very, very step by step. I'm not practiced in this, and it's not my place. So.
Fair enough. And once they wrap up, do you leave them be, or?
Yeah, I'll leave them be.
Okay.
It seems I feel bad for interrupting them.
No,
it's such a thing. He seemed welcoming enough, but.
And he was. His intentions were. He knew that a free roamer as yourself wouldn't know of these traditions and whatnot. Being wrapped up in that part of Sarangar, you don't make your way to Sumedia or anything like that. So he was able to explain to you no problem. But he thanks you. For being so considerate, and then the elves retire once again, all going within their wagon to sleep for the evening.
In this journey at all, has Clara and the prince been talking?
So Clara stays next to Arena, usually on the wagon. However, they occasionally manage to give waves to each other if the elvish prince peers out the window, and he is the only one among the elves. Hiren, who ever would step outside in this territory, but in those occasions when he does and looks forward upon the caravan at large, he gives a wave, she gives a wave, and that's the extent of their interaction thus far. So, you guys emerge from the swamps after a good 3 days' travel. And yes, indeed, the path curves to the east and alongside the northern coast of the Great Lake Saranalter. Mayor Benevel tells you it should be no more than a few days, maybe 2 or 3 more days, until we make it to the Strait. And from there, so long as we can get easy passage across the bridge, it's not too far to Steelhammer Stronghold and have our meeting with Clan Molnar.
Do you expect trouble on the bridge?
Jordan, who has seldom spoke, speaks up, this older veteran dwarf dressed in the gleaming plate armor of the Karadmor with a shield which has upon it a golden hammer. He looks up and he goes, we're not entirely sure, you see. Me and my company, we made our way south around the lake to get to Waterwheel, down towards Old Town. No one's been around the northern side for a few years at least, and not since our last few battles in the Civil War.
So somebody may have control of the bridge not previously known, or?
Almost no doubt. The structure itself is pretty unique among our kind. It's a beautiful stone bridge. I remember crossing it in my youth. But, an interesting mechanism to it. It can raise and lower defensively. If it's raised, we'll have to convince whoever owns it now to lower it.
I don't think it'll prove much trouble.
Hopefully not. I'm impressed ever since my time leaving Steelhammer Stronghold. I've found a lot of the folks around here are more agreeable than not. And he says this with a furrowed brow, like it really confuses him that this whole journey has worked out so well thus far.
Do you think it would be unreasonable to see if Chantel can find anything, go on ahead and find out anything about who has the bridge before we get there?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
She'd probably be faster, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, she could set out. So you tell her as you emerge from the swamps, suggest that she go look at the bridge. Alright.
If she can find anything out about the people
Absolutely.
in that region.
And she'll attempt to report back to you in due time.
I hope she chooses better campsites for herself than she chose for us.
So yeah, Chantel, upon that news, begins to make her way off in the night, further along the path, and then she kind of breaks off into the woods, where obviously she can move very stealthily and unseen, and makes her way continuously east towards whatever is ahead on that road towards the strait. And in the morning, the day after you guys emerge from the Everdark, you begin to make your way along that road, occasionally passing by some ruins among the hills you can see, and sometimes in the Great Lake to your south, you can see that some spires and ruins just barely peek out from the waves. And so as you continue along, a dwarf emerges from the brush on the side of the road. And he is no member of this caravan, a total stranger. He seems to be a bit ragged, with patchy pants and a dirty white commoner's shirt, and a long pipe in one hand. And he runs up to your wagon and just gives it a feel, and he goes, "Oh, this thing is amazing! Oh, where did you get this?"
I'm gonna have my bow.
All right.
People just running at us.
Fair enough. Yeah, it is sudden and strange. He takes 2 steps back with his hands up. He goes, "Oh, there, Missy. We don't need no trouble. I just really like the wagon. Do you even know how to take care of all them horses?"
Jar, I think he might be distracting us. But
Yes, to some degree.
I didn't say that loud enough. Jar, I think he may be distracting us.
So,
And
Jar's gonna have a look about then.
Okay, sure. You throw a perception.
Perception, sure. Let's say 16.
Doesn't seem like even a good place for an ambush if one were to occur with the lake to your south, these hills to your north. It doesn't seem... It seems like he's been sleeping in that underbrush for some time. Waiting on the roadside. But he doesn't have any weapons either, so he's no bandit.
Maylee's still not relaxing. She's gonna look to Leander.
well,
I was a wagon master before the war. This thing is gorgeous. He seems, though he looks towards you occasionally, his eyes always avert back towards the wagon, just looking upon its wheels, its horses. He goes, "It's just amazing. I've never seen any craftsmanship quite like this."
They make it in water wheel.
Water wheel.
Yes.
That place was just a waterfall last time I was there. They make wagons there now. Excellent. Well, I've been hiding out around these parts in the wilderness, just getting by on me own.
What are you hiding from?
I used to fight for Clan Molnar. It just so happens that now that Clan Molnar is not so strong around here anymore, a lot of people don't like them. So I lost that title, and all my gold, and my wagon. But I am damn good at driving wagons and taking care of horses. And you got 6 horses here. And you look like full-time adventurers. So how about a 5 gold a month? I'll take you anywhere you want to go. Old Hurston here, he's wanted to see the world for years, so...
Leander, do you wish to pick up another stray?
You mean like you?
Of course, that's what I meant.
Leander!
I understand self-deprecating humor.
You make the decisions here then.
Can I roll insight just to see, like...
Sure, yeah.
See what Leander thinks of him. An 18.
He's, seems totally genuine about his backstory
Yeah.
you told there.
I'm more suspicious of this guy than anyone else we've ever come across.
Well, we're on a thing with Clara. We're trying to protect people if
Yeah,
something
no,
were to
no,
happen.
it's, I think rightfully so.
I
It's
think-
just funny.
And Erlon doesn't really respect deserters because people don't like people don't like where he came from.
That's
Erlon's
fair.
very proud of where he comes from,
Yeah.
and that's
we
like
met so many people
shameful.
like, on the Red Wagon.
No, no
in his
doubt.
eyes, So he's all like just distrusting on his own.
And not only that, his by the way that he's addressing your wagon, he really seems like he wants to drive that wagon. He doesn't, he doesn't want to steal it or anything.
Yeah, no.
But when he says he wants to see the world and stuff, all
pretty
this is
genuine.
sounding more and more like exactly the type of hireling you need right now. 'Cause
And
taking care of 6 horses and maintaining a wagon is a whole job of its own.
yeah, I think Leander probably looks him up and down, and I suppose you can give Erlon a break for now.
No, just hand me the reins for a few, and you'll see how smooth the ride goes from here on out.
I clutch the reins like really tight, and I look to Leander and just.
Consider this your interview.
No, you look like a mighty warrior. You don't need to be driving up that way. Let me take care of it.
I just throw the reins down, walk out the back.
He takes the reins in his hands, feels the leather of them, touches the cushions of the driver's seat, and makes his way on up reverently, sits on down, looks down towards you in the cart, and goes, oh, it's been years. Thank you. I will not let you down, or worse than here. Anytime you need the wagon, I'll be ready to go on the edge of town. Anytime you need it hidden, and he gives the reins a whip, and he goes, I'll find a cave, and these horses well taken care of.
I stand like right next to the wagon, eyes on him, literally the entire way, just walking.
After Leander gave the okay, Mealy kind of relaxed, and she's kind of like hitting Erlon on the shoulder, like, why don't we just trust Leander? Go back here.
I do trust Leander.
I'm trying to get him like into the wagon or something.
Sure, yeah. Just coax him along.
And I just look at him, I go, anything out of place, you'll hear from me.
Hey, I like this thing as much as you do. I'm gonna keep it in good shape, trust me. In fact, next time we make our way to a stronghold or something, I'm gonna have to pick up some oil for these wheels. And he's already making a list. And indeed, he seems very proficient at guiding these horses, making his way along the road. Everything he says seems to have been truthful, and you now have Hurston as a new hireling. Welcome to mid-level D&D.
Gilroy pops his head out of the wagon and says, you're doing a fine job, Hurston. The ride is much smoother, just keep that up. And, you'll be alright in my book.
Oh, no problem at all. And, you are...
Yes, and Silas comes floating out.
My God, what have I gotten myself wrapped into? But no matter. I've seen strange enough beings around here. You ever heard of that giant with all the heads?
Yes. I can't remember his name, but I have.
The Everlasting Father.
Yes, that's the one.
Impressive. Yeah, no, that's the one. This is his territory. So, it's a good thing you got a good driver, I suppose. Aren't you due for a shave?
Aren't you due for a bath?
Oh, he grimaces.
I really don't like this guy.
Hi.
Good.
Again, he's a deserter.
I like that, yeah.
Deserter. Kind of. You see, well, my company disbanded. It was difficult times, he goes. There was, well, we lost the war. It was essentially what the command told us. We didn't have the gold to keep up the front at the water. So, when the mayor drove us back for the last time, her and her Ogre guard. Well, I wasn't the only one who left the platoon. A lot of dwarves did. But now things are looking up.
Well, if I may ask, what's in the area?
Well, around here? Ruins. Potatoes. That's what I've been eating. That's about it, really. You know, it's the northern side of Carrot Morn. If you go under the mountains, there's dwarvish ruins. If you go around the lake, there's older ruins. If you go towards Steelhammer Stronghold, you got Clan Molnar.
Who owns the bridge?
The bridge. Last time I made my way there, there's some lizard folk, I think, but not the type that go stabbing away in the night in the swamps. They actually seem like they do trading and have some kind of culture, so it could be worse.
Interesting.
That sounds promising.
Yeah, better than I thought. I thought it was going to be facing down the Everlasting Father, just like standing on the bridge.
Oh, but he sure does love the ice seas. And the strait. And these ruins. So, he's around.
Well, let's make haste.
Yeah! And he turns back, he scans over the group, now knows Erlon, generally knows Melee, knows Leander, knows Gilroy, looks towards you, Jar, and gives a jump, and he goes, "What the hell is that? That's a half drow!" Clara looks towards you, Jar, and looks towards him, kind of frowns.
Oh my gosh, he had no reaction to Clara.
Nope!
Okay.
He is incredibly perceptive.
What? It's hard to not notice when you smell just like the people that kill all of us. Jeez, gives Arain's another whip, and he goes,
Everyone clutches his tight.
I think it was right for Erlon to question your bathing habits.
I think it's right for anyone to quit. Well, as long as you are all fine with him, whatever. You got 5 gold.
Oh, he wasn't advanced now, after insulting me.
This is the first month pay.
I thought this was an interview.
I'll pitch him the 5 gold.
Okay.
Gilroy's just happy to.
Feel the
Smoother
right
cart
pace.
ride.
Yeah.
So Godric overheard the talk about the Everlasting Father and makes his way back towards your wagon. And he goes, "Yes. When I patrolled the Everdark, this was about the place where I was attacked. Along the northern coast here. That was dangerous. Not only that, but he didn't seem to travel alone. He truly is their chieftain. I don't know how they fell into worshipping an abomination like that, but he's dangerous. Very much so. I'm glad we have you with us."
Likely a show of strength, I imagine. Got him there.
Suppose so. Rumor is, and these are but rumors, the druids of the Everdark convinced him to drink troll blood. And that gives you the regenerative properties of trolls, but where that gives one strength, it also brings madness. As they become wounded, they become further and further abominations. Where once a simple scar over, and the Frost Giant would be all the more proud for it. An extra head grows from this being's wounds. Horrifying.
That sounds unlikely.
Doesn't it? Like I said, only tale.
Sounds hard to kill.
Sounds fun to kill.
This is why you should never drink anything thicker than mead.
The recurring Jar's love of me. So, you guys set up camp And it's about the 6th day of travel. You continue along the winding dirt roads that line the northern end of the Great Lake, and in the evening you approach a set of ancient crumbling structures that line a small tributary to the lake that runs off of the hills to your north. And as camp is set, Irina, Hurston, and Clara stay pretty close to the wagon, whereas Zorn and Bilberry stretch their legs for a moment. And you guys, it's a bit of a cluster.
Don't go far, you two.
But you guys, yeah, down along this way. You can actually see, yeah, down the way, the elves have set up on the southern side of camp. Mayor Benevel and Godric, as well as Jordan Lowstone and his company, have kind of made their tents within some crumbling ruin walls in order to give them cover and make sure that their bonfire doesn't just beam up into the night. And you guys hop off the wagon, and evening has come. It seems just like another evening at camp.
I think Gilroy has sufficiently copied.
Oh yeah, you had the hours.
Spells. Yeah, for sure. He's been quite studious as of late, and feels like stretching his legs. So,
Sure.
on the rare occasion, he will step outside the wagon and look around and say, "Night already, huh?"
Yes. Yes, Gilroy.
And this is where we're staying, huh?
For the night.
And Jordan, overhearing this from around the corner, goes, he'll move around, peered from beyond this crumbling stone wall, and he puts his back to it for a moment, as many of the members of his company have, just kind of keeping watch over the area. He goes, "Yep, these old ruins, I think they're elvish. Or maybe something else." He seems to be peering over the walls and he goes, "Oh, you've been here longer than us, so the question remains."
Can I history or
Sure,
investigate? History.
sure.
As I peer at the ruins, a 23.
23?
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I guess it would be mostly the nature of the design. Like, obviously, like, this was a church. Like,
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
gonna happen, but yeah.
it feels a lot like this was a major settlement, probably a lizard folk design from long, long ago. And it, with that high of a roll, you can tell that it was probably ultimately destroyed by meteoric impact. The way that all the ruins crumble over to the northern side suggests that something blew up and smashed them all over that way.
I think you're wrong, Jordan. I don't think these are elvish at all.
Really?
Yeah, something even older, maybe. I heard tell of lizard folk from Hurston, and my inclination is to say that is the likely creator of these.
Aye, they have lived here long, and they're a wise people. When Clan Millar came in, practically industrialized this place, and dug out a bunch of fortresses, used the lava itself to smelt down gold. Oh, the lizard men went into hiding. Hobgoblins, they'd try and run on into our fortresses, stab away at us. Dragons, giants, all of them just marauding forces around here. The lizard men, very few problems.
Seems they're smart.
Smart people would call them smart. Dumb people would call them lizard men. To their faces.
Keep that in mind.
I think Leander probably lets his horse graze,
Absolutely.
around the surrounding
No,
area.
you don't necessarily have to stay in the wagon.
No.
Like ever.
No.
You can keep pace.
How deep is the water?
The water over that way is like about 2 feet at the most.
Right.
It's a small, shallow tributary of blue water that runs along kind of sandy earth.
I think I just want to check out the other batch of ruins at some point.
Sure, well, as you glare over in that, you look towards that direction and think, yeah, like we're going to want to leave that unscouted. You do hear barely, and you, Jar, a bit more distinctly. What sounds almost like a familiar bird? It's a... which may very well be a native bird, but Jordan perks up, as well as the other dwarves of the Carrotmore, and he goes, "That's how hobgoblins communicate. Before we left, we let some hobgoblins free." Stands up straight. He goes, "Bet you they're looking for their revenge. They're gonna find my hammer." And he steps out, going towards the coast. Or the coast, as in the, the bank of that small river. Steps upon the rocks of it. Yeah.
See ya!
So long! I'll kill them all myself. Goes, "My company and I, we'll keep watch over camp. As well as Godric. He'll make sure the mayor stays safe. I'll send 2 of my men up towards that northern path. Make sure they watch over your horses and cart. And the rest of us, make sure we don't get ambushed back here. However," Mayor Benevel walks on over towards you, interrupting him in the middle of his conversation, essentially, and she goes, "You'll be acting as our forward scouts, if you don't mind. I think you are all the most capable here."
Of course we will.
I'd rather not wait to be ambushed anyway.
Good thinking, Melee. Yes. You take your way towards the east, that path down that way. She points across. A rickety wooden bridge down there. We'll be staying here. Report back if you find anything.
Jar, be warned, we've had issues with rickety wooden things over shallow pools of water before.
Well, I will go through the water into the north. We can take the bridge.
Okay. So, Jar, you'd want to cross the coast? Or
Gonna try to wade across the water.
Sure.
As quietly as you may.
Alright, yeah, throw that stealth check.
I think that's a 17.
17? Okay. So, you make your way on across, and so as Jar is stealthily moving low to the water, slow steps, you guys presumably begin making your way down south and then curving towards the east as that path permits across the bridge. And as you depart, Arena places her hand on your shoulder, Leander, and goes, "Always the heroics. Do be careful, Leander."
Yes, I'll try. I don't like to think it's the hobgoblins. At least not the ones that we set free.
I hope not.
But either way, I don't think this will take long.
Well, you get all busted up out there, I'll be waiting on you.
Of course.
So you guys march on down.
You better hope you get busted up, Liam.
Oh my.
Leander and Erlon presumably in the front.
Yeah. Erlon looks back at the group and goes, "I really hope I wasn't right about this."
And you guys make your way on across the bridge. Jar, this is all happening as you sneak your way across.
Okay.
And you do see there's no way they'd be able to hide from you. Indeed, before you, in this kind of foliage and growth here, a hobgoblin seemingly in ambush position.
Okay. So,
As well as one that has its back kind of pressed up against this wall here. 5, 10, 15, 20.
wow.
We should come up with a group signal method.
Well, I'm gonna
I'm
give you a signal. So, Jar's going to try to hit one of those brushes in the middle,
Sure.
one of the bushes in the middle with some fairy fire,
Okay.
and light them up.
What is my...
You look at Dex DC 13.
Okay, the one next to the wall begins to glow brightly. The one that is crouched away manages to dodge away from the explosion
Okay.
of fairy dust, which will cause us to roll initiative as some screeching and howling begins, and you see indeed these ruins are filled with what seem to be relatively decently equipped hobgoblins. Looks like there's maybe 6 or 7 of them.
Do they have bows?
They all have either warhammers or longswords.
Right. Hobgoblins, much more martial than regular goblins.
For sure.
Okay, stuck on the map? Yeah. Wrong layer. There we go.
It's kind of their thing.
Yeah. Just kind of more like the orcs of the Lord of the Rings were kind of hobgoblins. Whereas
Right.
The Uruk-hai were like orcs.
Yeah.
Like
Pretty much.
Boom. Oh, we're doing pretty well, actually.
Trolls.
Gilroy.
8.
8. Jar.
10.
10.
maybe you're saving a 20 for something that matters.
Leander.
12.
12. Melee.
22.
22. Erlon.
12 also.
12. Sending. Melee, you are first. You see what you have going on there? Yeah. Pretty well presented.
Is that like a pile of barrels or?
Where?
To the south?
Yeah, they're rotting and ruined,
So
though.
nothing I could jump on or anything.
Doesn't seem so. It doesn't look like it would support you. These walls, by the way, are between like 6 and 7 feet high, so they're also pretty easily scalable.
I think I'm just going to push past Leander around the corner and try and shoot at the one that's closest to the wall here.
So like that one up at the...
Yeah.
That one? Okay,
yeah,
yep.
the one I
Ooh.
shot at.
Let's see it.
It was a crit 19.
Okay.
Yep.
Good start.
Kicking it off.
I didn't say sharpshooter, so I won't do sharpshooter. I forgot to. So 6 plus 6, so 12 plus 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 18.
Yes.
The arrow sinks deep between the links of his chain, and he screeches out, grabbing at it. And, you have an extra attack?
Yes, with sharpshooter this time.
Okay.
20.
That's gonna hit.
17.
Okay, he is quite dead.
Okay.
Rolled a 1 on her attack. Still does 17 damage.
that one manages to go straight between the eyes. Which brings us to the hobgoblins, I believe. Yep. So, this one that's fairy fired. Let me see if they notice you, Jar. No? Yes. So, this one will sprint over towards you, Jar. That's as far as he goes. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. An attack on you, melee. 1 hit for. Let me check my.
My AC is 15 now. I don't know if I told you that earlier.
Sweet deal.
Probably still hits.
Still
so I
hits.
won't delay it.
8 damage on that hit.
Okay.
He slashes away at you with a somewhat rusted-looking longsword. This one comes up with a warhammer. You're right in the front. 1 hit, so 8 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one sprints up to you, Erlon. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that one's going to be able to make it, but no attacks. There are 4 hobgoblins that rush up around you, melee. This one is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12. And what you do here among this commotion as they begin to encircle you, encroach around you, is some growling, snapping, and snarling as what appear to be the silhouettes of some various hobgoblins riding atop vicious-looking, matted, fur-covered wargs up along the ridges, who seem intent on jumping on down and getting into this melee. Which brings us to Leander.
Right, and I think I will go ahead and take a swing at the one covered in fairy fire.
Yep.
First time I'm using my sunblade.
Yeah.
You know, showing, flickering light across all the ruins
No doubt.
as I swing down on this guy. Nat 20.
Nice.
So
Oh, it's gonna feel good.
I'll do a level 1 Divine Smite.
Okay.
Or 2, 8, 12, 20, 26 damage.
26.
Ah.
Barely still standing.
Well, then I'll, after
Finish him off.
After leaving this large scorch right across his,
Yeah.
across his body, swinging again. 24.
24 will hit.
Just a regular attack
Okay.
for 9 damage.
9. Yeah. Between that slashing flurry from this new Sunblade, you cut him right down.
Mhm.
Which brings us to...
Can I move up where he fell?
Yep. Yeah, I'll delete him. Boom. So melee, that one right beside you gets quickly... and Leander just bashes it aside, takes its place, and you feel as though you have a good wall against this assault that's come up upon you. Erlon, your go. Actually, technically, I suppose Erlon should have gone first, but... Yeah.
So, raises Bloodletter and says, Walter, let's bring them down.
Of course!
And I just bring Bloodletter down right on the guy next
Directly
to me.
in front of you? Yeah.
Mhm. With a reckless attack. That would be 14.
14 to hit?
Yeah, I didn't roll particularly high.
Not quite.
Alright. I will try again. Kick up the dirt and try to slash him across the face. Natural 20.
Yeah! Wow! My poor hobgoblin!
And I get the extra damage die. And that's...
Yeah.
So, are the 2 d12s rolled together and then doubled?
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes Bloodletter strong.
Yeah, that's what made Bloodletter a legendary weapon.
Oh!
That's
one
okay.
dead hobgoblin.
So, 8 plus 5.
Not
13.
Oh no.
13?
Yeah, I did not roll very high again.
Well, you do manage to sink Bloodletter deep in. You do see that these particular hobgoblins, through their raids and whatnot, are very well equipped, though their weapons are hefty looking and maybe a little bit oversized for them. They do have good armor and they seem to maintain it. Yeah, that militant lifestyle is on display among these guys. Which brings us to Jar.
Alright. Jar's going to... Well, he's just gonna move melee with that hobgoblin there.
Sure.
So, Dwarven, short sword, and then the dagger. Succession. So, let's go. Short sword. Or, no, just one. Sorry. 12 plus 8, so that's a 20. Soft
gonna
20.
hit, yeah.
Okay. So that's 10
10?
damage.
Slash!
And then dagger will miss.
Okay. That's your turn?
Well, I'm gonna use a cunning action to disengage and move 30 feet down the bank.
Okay.
On the east side here.
Boom. So you make your way. You can hear just beyond the... That's where you want to be, right? Or down, down the way? Yeah, okay.
That's where I want to be.
So you can hear just behind you, it seems as though, yeah, the battle has started, no doubt. Leander, you can hear Erlon calling out for Walter, his spirit companion. You can hear Hobgoblin chain and armor being battered. Which brings us to Gilroy.
Gilroy is going to rise above the battlefield into the air.
You're gonna fly.
Yeah, I'm gonna fly.
Okay.
Maybe like 30 feet up.
Alright, I will give you a...
The wind
a lightning
emoji.
bolt.
Oh, there you
The
go.
wind emoji!
You know what I'm talking about? All right,
Now
yeah.
everyone has line of sight on you.
Well, that's why I asked if they had. I mean, yeah, for sure.
No, it doesn't seem... Even the Warg Riders have spears, which they might be proficient at throwing, but you feel if you're far enough away, what's the chance?
Right.
You blast 30 feet up into the sky.
Yeah, just get a delay of it. That's an action, so.
Gotcha. So that's your spell.
Yeah, that's the stuff with like all the
Maybe
cool
you'll be able
spells.
to
is
see
like-
some.
Yeah, I was hoping to just get the lay of the land, I guess, and let them know that there's more incoming.
All right.
So helpful.
You're a shout from above you.
What the hell is that?
I thought you would say something cool like, I don't know, bow down before the power of Gilroy.
That's at another 4 levels.
Yeah.
He's still feigning help here, you know.
We're halfway there.
Melee.
Okay.
So you're a sharpshooter.
Well, do any of them look familiar, like the ones?
The one that Erlon is attacking.
Okay.
Erlon, that's probably part of what put you off during these attacks, is indeed this one here must have been a days ahead of you on the road, and it's not. The rest of these hobgoblins, it seems like he might have broken off from the originals. Many of them went off their own way. He went off to meet up with this ambush and wait for you to make your way up here so that he could kill you. And indeed, what they snarl under their breath is the commands of Galdoon, in that they have been in this position for some weeks, awaiting the mayor to come so that they could kill her and her entourage. This particular goblin was one that you spared, though he is among others that you did not spare, and some of the ones that you spared are obviously absent, so it's not like they all went off to do this. But your fears are somewhat correct.
I would like to use Misty Step to
Okay.
go as far east and then turn around and use Sharpshooter on him.
30. So yeah, you become incorporeal in a puff of smoke, make your way right between these guys, reform on the far side, turn around with your bow at the ready, and you're shooting at the one that Erlon hurt?
Yes.
Okay.
13.
Not quite with that one.
So, same thing.
Okay.
13.
No, same thing!
Well, I knew.
Okay, Erlon, you are raging. Get to the marker. Oh! Okay, so, 2 attacks against Leander. Not 1. And a 21.
Nope.
Ha! 1 attack against Leander. 1 attack against Erlon. Erlon, that one's gonna hit you for 4 damage.
Wow.
And then 2 more attacks against Erlon.
I like how we had this nice wall and I
Another 4
just
damage.
see you guys.
Not really your
I don't
style
belong
to
here.
be between Leander and Erlon. Right?
No.
You're gonna want to kill me before I get to you.
It seems like a more dangerous position for me than like
Nat
any.
20 against you, Leander, so that's going to be a full 13 damage.
Luckily, I've got Erlon.
You got 4, buddy.
9 damage.
Not rolling high today.
Sorry, that was otherwise what looked like a stab, a thrust with his longsword that really should have broken through the plates of Leander's armor. Otherwise, is massively deflected by Walter's quick movements, which bring us to these guys. This guy, he's gonna have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he just runs up to you, Jar. That's as far as he can go. Yep. These guys make their way on down, and in an intimidating movement, encroach on these ruins, sprint down the hillside, but then once they get close, the wargs begin to walk on forward slowly. Low to the ground, they growl and snap at you. Melee, you can hear one approaching not too far behind you. Which will bring us, that's the Hobgoblin's turn, so Leander, your go.
I think at this point, Leander lets out a laugh, and, you did say I have to get battered up, Erlon, and, he's gonna swing down at the...
I said that!
Oh, was it? No! Listen, Leander was, in a daze, and, he's gonna swing at the one that managed to get through his plate.
Sure.
Whichever the one that is.
That was the one furthest north.
Ooh, I wish I was a champion. But, 20...
20 hit.
Yeah, 28. And I'll make it a level 1.
Okay.
That'll be a good one. 10,
10 and 12.
18,
Oh, wow.
24.
24. Finish him off.
Yeah. And just another regular attack. 16
Yep.
plus 6, 22. Just regular. 7?
That'll do.
Yep, so I think he, after another slash across the chest and runs him through before smashing him into the wall with the shield to get him off the blade, turning to the ones next to him.
Okay. Which will bring us to Erlon.
So I look at the one that ran away from, or that we let go,
Yep.
and I say, now you'll get the punishment you deserve. Reckless attack.
Let's see it.
Sweep bloodletter up from the ground and aim right to strike at his chest. Natural
Nat
20.
20.
Oh no!
Can I borrow your D12 again?
gonna
Roll
say
the
no.
dice.
That was, that's good.
But you're flying,
Alright,
so...
so
you know.
that is 8 plus 5 is 13, times 2 is 26, plus 7 is 33.
Nice.
Yeah, you, how exactly were you looking to kill this guy?
Oh, I cut him right in half.
Okay.
Right at the chest.
So, Leander, looking over for a moment, Walter beside you, with his warhammer having deflected a bit of this hobgoblin strike towards you, you cut him down, and right behind you, you over here, now you'll get the punishment you deserve, and Erlon, right, just straight in half as the thing gets blown back. Which brings us...
Oh, I still get another
Oh, yeah,
attack.
you have another attack. Yeah, you
And I
killed
get-
someone.
And I get a bonus. Is this guy
Oh, yeah,
the
and
one in front of Leander?
he has 2 more.
There are 2 here. There's the one in purple and the one in green.
Alright, so I will use my bonus action from killing somebody with a crit.
Yep.
Hit this guy. Whoops. That's not going to work. It was a base 4.
Okay.
And, yeah. One more attack
Another
against him.
yeah. Wow, Erlon,
13 plus 8 is
that'll
21.
hit. Erlon truly rages out these days.
Yeah.
And that is 10 plus 17 damage.
17.
Nice.
Yeah, a significant chop into the side of this thing that sends it sprawling. Which brings us to Jar.
Alright, Jar's going to attack the hobgoblin that's chasing him
Sure.
with his short sword and dagger. Let's say it's 23.
Yep.
So that hits for 11,
Nice.
and the dagger will miss.
Alright.
Oh,
And,
these
then
dwarves
he's
over
going
there.
to use a cunning action to disengage and let's see, are the wargs through the wall?
They're right alongside it,
Right
essentially.
alongside
Yeah.
So yeah, Jar will just move back like halfway between like the party and about where you got him right now, and just stand there for.
So, like, down on the road?
No, just a little bit further where you just had him sitting there, kind of halfway between,
Sure.
because I think he's gonna try to circle around.
Alright, totally. Which brings us to Gilroy. There's the strength of cunning action. Like, now you can't hit me. Now you can't hit me.
I have to go to another plane to do that.
That's because wizards overcomplicate things. Charles is like, why don't you just dodge?
Yeah, but I mean, I did definitely have to fly during this encounter. Like, that was definitely necessary. Alright, so how tall are these walls?
About 6 to 7 feet, the top of them just crumbling stone.
Right.
Pretty well above them.
Yeah, for sure. I think... So there's one left in the group of... 2 left.
2 left down there, yeah.
One injured.
One along the bank of the
Gonna have
river.
to focus on the wargs, I think.
Fair enough.
And I think I will... Erupting Earth in a 20-foot cube. Hitting those 2. If I can.
5, 10, 15, 20. 20 would be... a 20-foot cube would be directly in between them. Is that, well, that one's kind of bad.
Curse you.
5, 10, 15. Yeah, no, it wouldn't quite
He
work.
does some quick math, realizes that's not going to work. Alright, he'll just Scorching Ray as he swoops down. Scorching Ray.
That is the wizard we have all been waiting for.
scorching ray coming from his staff as he swoops through the battlefield.
Okay.
Cackling. And I'll split it 2 on the left and 1 on the right.
So, would you like to like move up,
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
like between them?
Yeah, sort of just like a parabolic motion, you know?
Can you represent that?
It's a 2D space.
Yeah,
All for piloting.
I think that, yeah.
Yeah. Really trying to add some extra dimensions to this campaign.
Well, if we make Gilroy's thing bigger, it's because he's closer to
Oh,
us.
that's true,
There you
right?
go, yeah.
Giant Gilroy. We're all looking up.
Alright, yeah, I will. So, yeah, I'll just sort of swoop down for the initial attack and then rise out of reach of these guys. So, 2 for the left, 1 for the right. That is 25.
Yep.
Ooh, an 18.
Yep.
I guess I'm going for the wargs.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, well, every time a 10.
So the first 2.
Alright, so I missed that guy. I think I go a little wide on my my strafing run.
You did a barrel roll. You were cocky.
And a total of 17 damage.
Okay, that's
Yeah, that's not bad.
You leave some red ember scorch marks across this matted fur of this dark wolf, and yeah, fly all over him.
Oh, and I changed my transmuter stone to give me 10 extra feet of movement.
Okay, so you like to move 10 extra feet?
Well, I move 70 now, so that doesn't answer that question. But, no, I mean I think I'll stay like roughly hovering above them by
Right,
like,
you're just-
30 feet.
In the meantime, you're kind of hovering around.
Remember when you couldn't even get that spell to work, even if you like balanced your staff on someone's shoulder? Like,
Now I'm a fighter jet.
which brings us to the top of the round with melee.
Can I see like lower on the screen?
No, yeah.
I just want to go south.
All right.
Just like maybe 15 feet, and then turn around to the one that was coming up behind me.
Yeah, one on the ward.
Yes. So with sharpshooter,
Okay.
14,
14 won't quite make it.
same thing.
There, not,
Crit 19.
All right, that'll definitely do it.
Where's my...
D8s are missing.
There it is. Sorry.
Oh, I'm missing D8s too. Weird.
So 7 plus 16. So that's...
23.
Did you double?
Oh no, I didn't double.
So
So
14,
it's
so
14
30.
plus 6. Yes.
Yeah, that one sinks deep right into the
Nice.
ward.
Okay.
You get another-
Yeah, extra attack.
No, I missed on the first
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah.
I
All
thought
right,
the same thing.
sweet deal. So that brings it to the hobgoblins. Yeah, this one on the ward did not like that. Is going to charge at you. And let's see. It's going to hit. I need you to make an athletics check as the ward pounces on top of you.
Oh, 7.
You are knocked prone.
Can I do acrobatics? Can I jump over it?
In a lot of cases, they're interchangeable. For this particular
Yeah,
one, it's
that's
an
okay.
athletics check. Yeah. So
Okay.
we will put a snail on you, and you will be taking. Hobgoblin Ward Riders. 10 damage from that.
Jeez. Yeah, you can beat
Minus
up.
7.
3 damage from that. And then the Hobgoblin will try and poke you with his spear, which you're going to hit for 8.
She's making her erase everything right
I know, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's multi-attack. Same deal with you, Leander. Let's see if he hits.
I don't think I've ever been hit this much in one battle.
Yeah, yeah.
before.
Well, look how tough you are. So he's going to be throwing a 23 to hit.
Yes.
Okay. So
Is he charging at me? Or?
yeah, this is the ward bite.
Okay.
Jump.
Ah.
So throw your athletics.
An 11.
You will be taking 7 damage from that. You are knocked prone. And
And you're like, I'm flying.
Hobgoblin.
He gets
21,
advantage.
he misses. So, yeah, he has advantage. Still, pokes the ground right next to you as you roll over. This one will, oh man, this one's gonna run up on you, Leander. The warg will attempt to bite you.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna miss. Hobgoblin will attempt to poke you.
Good catch.
Yeah. 24, he'll hit. So it's going to be 5 damage.
That's a vicious poke.
Right, he's got 2 wargs just like biting at his feet while he's blocking attacks from hobgoblins with his other arm.
Yeah, rolling about your shield at the ready. Yeah. So here is 2 attacks against you, Jar. A miss, a bad miss, and a hit for 8 damage. Unless you uncanny dodge or whatever.
Can do that, can I?
Yep.
So yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. 4 damage. As you roll with it, as he brings down in a great arc a rusting-looking scimitar, which brings us to Erlon.
Erlon watches Leander get knocked over, thick through the melee, but after he tore that one guy in half,
Yeah.
he glances over, sees Melee pinned,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not quite sure what to do, but he's also got his adrenaline hyped up. But seeing Leander pinned down by 2 of them, he's actually going to go around
Okay.
and go right for the ward,
Let's see it.
and he's going to
And not suffering any attacks of opportunity. He didn't actually disengage with any of those guys, so
recklessly attack. That is 24.
that'll hit.
God. That'll be 8 damage.
8?
I'll strike at it again. That'll be 23.
Yes.
10 more damage.
10.
She's that.
No, those, 2 significant attacks. It is a little bit close quarters for Bloodletter, with its long handle as you are pressed between these hobgoblins that are stabbing away and surrounding Leander and a ruin wall, essentially, which will bring us, so you get 2 good sweeps in on that ward and bring us to Leander.
Yeah, and I think as Leander's kind of getting dragged around by these wargs on top of him, and
Yeah.
he's trying to avoid getting speared, his sunblade begins to glow a kind of white flame rather than a fiery one.
Absolutely.
And it's more of a sacred weapon. So
Okay.
I get to add my charisma bonus to my attack rolls, which I've totally forgotten about. And I'm gonna.
So you stand up first?
Yes.
You'll be at disadvantage with melee attacks
Okay,
if you
then yes.
stay laying, yeah.
Um,
Not necessarily true ranged attacks, though.
but kind of stabbing up at the warg
Mhm.
as he's getting up, trying to stab up into him. This might do it because of the sacred weapon. Plus 12, 16.
Yes, that is their
Okay.
AC. Nicely
And
done. Is this the one right on top of you, or the one Erlon's fighting as well?
the one right on top of me
Okay.
just makes more
Yeah.
sense. And making a level 2 divine smite, kind of sticking it into him, and then it begins to glow an even brighter white. That's pretty good. 12, 18, 23 plus 29 damage.
29. Yeah, significant. Stab.
And once again, just another one as he begins to get back onto his feet. A nat 1.
Oh,
Oh, should we enact our...
Yes,
Alright, so roll another d20.
a 9.
A 9. That's on the rougher side of d20s. I'm gonna say,
Probably prone.
yeah, you're probably gonna slip on that attack.
Or
Especially
probably
seeing as this thing, it latches onto your arm
Right.
again and it tears you down to the ground.
No,
So,
definitely. And Leander's probably just, after that kind of cocky quip, probably just grunting at trying to get these things off of him.
yeah. That'll bring us to Jar.
yeah, so Shar's gonna just continue the skirmish. He's been fighting with.
Finish him, Jar!
That's a 16 to hit.
Yep.
Alright.
You can do it.
if I can hit the tray. That's going to be an 11.
Yes!
Nice.
You took him down.
One dead hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Alright, so now Jar's going to dash to the north side of the wall there and try to come around flank the hobgoblins.
45. Okay.
Alright.
And yeah, you make it no problem. You see above you Gilroy's staff smoking with some scorching ray residue. A few burnt goblins, or the wargs have some scorch marks on them. Obviously, he's been busy at work up there. And as you turn the corner, you see Leander pinned to the ground and Erlon in a desperate melee to try and just reave these hobgoblins off of him, which will bring us to Gilroy.
Goddamn show off.
You mean you can't do this? So is Leander underneath a warg?
Pretty much.
Well, I think... Yeah, whatever. Gilroy probably wouldn't think to not do this. Gilroy will move above the wargs in a certain fashion. I know that's hard to do with this, but...
It's a cluster anyway.
Yeah, and I will begin forming a bubble at the end of my staff, and it just grows larger and larger until it eventually sort of just bloop off the end of the staff and comes crashing down on the two wargs, hopefully. So that would be acid splash and dex saves.
So one fail, one success, so the one on top of Leander will fail.
Okay. I think if you succeed, you actually don't take any damage.
Okay.
It's just cool because it's a cantrip that can hit multiple things.
Nice.
It's like an AoE cantrip.
Yeah.
But that we stand next to each other. Wow. 3 damage.
That's enough. So, Leander, you had been shanking into the side of this thing, battering it away and whatnot. Erlon struggling away with Bloodletter right next to you, and you hear kind of a strange whooshing, and then and the warg just rolls over dead. It's a pretty gross smell.
And you look up at the sky, and Gilroy is there.
Silhouetted by the red setting sun.
Which will bring us to melee.
Okay.
So, you can stand up as your move, which, now that I think about it, there's no disadvantage for ranged attacks with crossbows while prone, because, you know, the mechanism actually works.
I wasn't going to move anyway, so I'll just...
Okay, so you'll stand up, yeah. Sounds good.
Do you even have a sword?
I do. I have a short
Okay.
sword. I just...
It's not nearly
And a
as...
dagger. I've
Oh,
never used
yeah,
that.
no.
Well, the thing is, with sharpshooter,
You just
you
don't
have
get...
no disadvantages to shooting things right in front of you, so
Yeah.
might as well.
Oh, yeah. It's...
And her bow is a lot
right
more
into
magical.
the eye.
Okay, yeah.
With sharpshooter.
Oh,
Not one.
not with that. Ooh. Roll another d20. This is to see how bad this was.
5.
Oh no!
Alright.
You slip in the mud! So, actually, what essentially happens is it's tough to have your footing. You have disadvantage on your next attack.
Okay.
So you can make that attack, however, it's going to be a little rougher than normal.
Alright. Oh.
No, not on that one.
That's okay. I'm gonna use action surge.
Okay, yes.
I'm gonna try again.
More attacks.
14.
14? Not quite.
Alright, so again with sharpshooter.
With sharpshooter.
There we go.
17.
Yes!
Okay.
Let's see it.
It took like 4 tries I can hit.
It's desperate. This thing is snapping away at you as you try and draw back your bow. It's not a very, well, it's just an intense fight.
17.
17 damage? That is barely enough.
I rolled a 1.
It was a valiant effort. However, this thing managed to get up on you. It's going to be making a fight attack.
Yep.
That misses. And a spear attack. That will hit. So it's going to be, unless Erlon has anything to say about it.
Yeah. Walter's there with you still, but only blocks for 3.
So 5 damage. The ward is going to attack Leander, since you're on the ground.
He has disadvantage
So he will be making
because of my
He misses.
ancestral protectors. Cool.
Yep. And then a stab is going to hit for 5 damage. Hobgoblin number 1. 2 attacks against Leander. A miss. All misses. So then he starts bringing his warhammer down on you, and you manage to deflect it with your shield. And then the one beside him is going to try and attack you, Erlon. A miss and a hit for 4 damage. This feels like mosquito bites, Erlon. That is the Hobgoblin's turn, so that will bring us to Erlon.
So I bring up Bloodletter right underneath its neck. I kind of drag Bloodletter across the dirt and go to try to just right to the jugular of the ward.
Okay.
Reckless attack. Yeah, base 19.
That's gonna hit.
Nice.
19 damage.
19.
Jeez.
Yeah, significant chop.
I'm gonna go for it again. 21.
Yep.
Sorry. 10 more damage.
10. It looks severely wounded. You may not be able to tell among this cluster of miniatures. So that will bring us from Erlon to Leander as you chop into him with 2 hefty swipes.
Once again, Leander tries to get back up on his feet,
Okay?
stabbing at the warg for 24, 27,
Gonna hit.
and just a normal attack for 10 damage.
Got him.
And then I'll turn to the hobgoblin with that's been the one that's wounded, the purple one,
Yep.
and throw an attack at him. 18.
That'll hit.
All right. Level 1 divine smite.
There's 2 hobgoblins left in a ward.
Yep.
14 damage.
Got him.
Sweet. And Torm's just retribution will smite you down.
And
Finally,
so it does.
Yeah, finally, actually gets back up on his feet.
Which will bring us to Jar.
Alright, where is the...
We got one Hobgoblin in between Leander and Erlon.
Okay.
The one that Melee is facing off with.
So Jar's just going to come up behind the remaining Hobgoblin.
Definitely.
And,
You're flanking.
flanking.
You outnumber them. Yeah, so take your advantage sneak attack.
Alright, with the short sword. That's 16.
Yep.
It's so that 17 with the short sword.
17. Very efficient stab.
Then he's going to attack with the dagger. Should be a 17.
Yep.
That'd be 3 with the dagger.
3.
Yep.
Okay.
It's still alive.
Seems so.
So a cunning action, he's going to... No, he'll stay there because it'll be... Yeah, he'll stay where he's good. He's...
Alright. Which will bring us from Jar to Gilroy. The finisher.
Yeah, how can I finish both these guys? I will... I think I'm more concerned about melee, probably.
Yeah, that last Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Has Jar's knives in its back and Leander in front of it and Erlon at his side.
Staring it down.
Yeah.
So I will, wind swirling around me, swoop valiantly to the middle of the courtyard, and
Amelia has never been more ashamed of herself.
And magic missiles.
True shame. Okay.
Could have finished him next turn.
4 minimum damage of
6?
yeah.
That's enough. 5 HP left. So, Melee, after all that, Leander comes in with a snap of his finger. Doo, doo, doo.
Wow, Leander.
Gilroy.
Gilroy, my bad, yeah.
So you okay, Melee?
Massive eye roll. Which will bring us from Gilroy to Melee.
I'm going to ignore Gilroy. Just pretend I killed him. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to, without sharpshooter,
Okay.
just shoot at that last remaining guy for 22.
Yep.
Plus 11. Oh my god.
For 11?
That'll do it.
Nice.
So you get up, dust yourself off, roll your eyes, and sling one in that direction, which drops him, goes right into that one's neck. Jar, you know, that's definitely one of Melee's arrows. She must be okay. And as the battle stops, you can see over the way, indeed, the light glow of the camp. Seems as though the company of dwarves back that way are still standing guard, keeping watch. It seems as though there may have been some hobgoblins up that northern path that they had to dispatch. However, a great rumbling across the ground. And as you look up the way, you can see that deeper in these ruins, none other has been watching you than quite the abomination, a multi-headed, monstrous frost giant of incredible size, and he seems intent on destroying you.
I have a potion.
That's when we'll cut the break. So, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I hope you're enjoying this particular episode of the Lands of Alaire as we dive into Karin Morn's countryside and face off against one of the craziest creatures you can find in the Monster Manual, an everlasting one. Or actually, Volo's Guide to Monsters, where you can find that.
Yeah.
If you have not followed us already on Twitch, be sure to do so. We do a t-shirt drawing. In fact, we're due to do one. We may very well do one very soon.
Yeah, we did. We hit 200 recently. Next t-shirt drawing is at 250.
Yep.
I'd like to do the t-shirt drawing live if we can.
Yep.
Just kind of.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, figure out the logistics.
And as far as that's concerned, yeah, make sure to follow us on Twitch, and if you're watching on YouTube, throw us a subscription so that you can catch the Lands of Alaire. We do this pretty much every week, and throw the video a like or dislike if you don't enjoy the content, and it made it this far.
Yeah, consider subscribing if you're really liking the show on Twitch. It's $5 a month. It gets you some really cool emotes and a lot of love from the cast and crew. Plus, or if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to one Twitch streamer for free every month, and we'd like that to be us.
Awesome.
Surprise, surprise. Yeah, you can also visit Freakopolis.com. Lots of cool, geeky merch. Role-playing books, Freakopolis merch.
Tabletop games.
Yeah, coloring books.
Collectibles,
Cool stuff.
yeah. Cool. So we will see you guys in 5. Thanks so much for hanging, and we'll be right back.